So, with the PGL Antwerp Major concluding this past weekend, we ultimately see Faze coming out as our major champions, besting Na'Vi with the 2-0 scoreline in the Grand Finals. Faze were the favorites to enter the tournament, and Na'Vi were attempting to defend their championship from the Stockholm Major in 2021. But as the series played out, with a crazy performance by Rain and some great calling by Karrigan, Faze are able to bring the championship home.
Rain posted a 1.88 rating on the closeout map of Nuke and had a 1.5 rating across both maps.
So the main topic of discussion in this week following the major has definitely been Rain's performance. A 1.49 rating against Na'Vi is definitely something not to be taken lightly. And with a lot of people saying things like drop Rain for JKS and likewise, it's almost surprising, I feel like, to most people that he actually came out with a 1.49.
Yeah, he made it abundantly clear that he did not like the fact that a lot of people were saying he should be dropped, and he did mention he felt a type of way when they won the event without him. But when he came out with a 1.88 rating on Nuke, he was essentially completely shut down Na'Vi there. He definitely showed that he can still play at a tier 1 level there.
Yeah,
As well,
watching the Faze offense and defense operate with Rain being placed at the helm basically of a lot of the rounds, it was definitely interesting to see him just frag out.
especially considering that they have Broky, Ropz, Twistzz there as well. And the other thing is, too, looking at the total ratings here on HLTV, it was really just Rain and Broky who really went crazy. But obviously, like, watching Inferno, you know that Karrigan had crazy plays also
Yeah,
towards the end of the game.
definitely with his rush down mid. And then obviously his calling is more impactful than any number on the scoreboard for him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking at Twistzz had a bit of an underwhelming series, but I guess at the same time, like when you have one player that's going to do supremely well, other players like Rain did very well. That there's not as much room for high ratings and things like that.
On the other hand, something definitely worth noting is Simple's, I guess, underperformance, most people are calling it, coming in with a 0.89 rating in the series and 45 kills and 52 deaths. That was definitely something I don't think really anyone saw coming, and it certainly hurt Na'Vi in the end with him being such a main part to that team.
Yeah, it almost. I would really describe it as a choke. Really, looking at it, like there's no way he should have played that bad in a major final, especially knowing that this might be your last run with that team. They
A-
chose to take it to Nuke in that instance as well.
And
So
it's also worth noting that including an OT in map 1 and then map 2, Boomich posted a 23 and 45 scoreline. That must have severely hurt Navi's chances at many rounds, I'm sure.
yeah, and it's not like Boombridge exactly has it's insanely good calling either. He definitely tries to at least be making info plays with his deaths and things of that nature, and being that almost like that role in the team. But Simple clearly should have done more, and Bit definitely had a couple instances where it looked like he was feeling the nerves of the tournament. Particularly, I think it was a 1v2 on Nuke or 2v2 on Nuke. In that
1v2 where
situation,
he spams through the hut wall.
yeah, and he got completely rolled. That was definitely very telling of how the rest of the game was going to go at that point. But I think the real story here is what happens to both of these teams after the major. Navi being rumored to be parting ways with Electronic afterwards to issues with the org and the team having Russian players. And then Faze, on the other hand, have Karrigan, who's 32 years old and has basically only really stuck around to try and win the major. And he's essentially won almost every other major tournament besides this. And then they have a young core too, so they can easily move on from players if needed. But there's a lot of questions around both of these teams after the major.
With both teams attending the Blast Premier Spring Final, it'll definitely be interesting to see how it'll play out if they match up again, or even how deep of a run these two teams will make in the tournament. As they're both currently ranked Faze #1 and Na'Vi #2 in the world, it'll definitely be interesting to see if this is a rivalry that plays out, or maybe it just turns into domination by Faze, or even Na'Vi just had a bad tournament, and even with some potential roster adjustments, they may return to the throne.